So my album was Punk Tactics by Joey Valence and Brae, which I think is a terrible duo name, but you know, it's okay because the music is good. Um, so I think they're pretty young and they started pretty recently. This is their first album. Says they met in college at Penn State and just started making music together and are kind of obviously inspired by the Beastie Boys, like very obviously. Um, Probably the most obvious inspiration that I've seen in an artist in a long time. Um, and yeah, but it's cool because it's like Beastie Boys, but then it has very modern references. So they reference like songs and pop culture stuff and memes and um, stuff like that. Uh, yeah, let's see some of my favorite songs. It's all great. It's all really super high energy. I really like the title track. Uh, Dance Now is one of my favorites. RN is one of my favorites. Yeah, it's just really great, high energy stuff. Really fun to jam out to. What do you guys think?
This is a lot of fun. Uh, if I had to give them a name for their hip hop duo, it would be Condoms and Crocs because I feel like every song has that. It's something to do about condoms or Crocs. There's some real good bars on this, especially about Crocs. Air Force One, the clouds way on top. Shit gets real when I bust out the Crocs. Man, these guys have me fucking laughing. I like this a lot. Beastie Boys comparison is definitely there. But I don't think it lets like it doesn't define them. There's a lot of songs of this album that definitely have throwback production. But like the beats on Gumdrop was very, very drum and bass, which I don't really think Beastie Boys fucked with that much. I really like the production on Starfight. It felt very modern. Um, I don't know. I think the memes are funny. I don't know if y'all caught the the pufferfish sound in Watch Your Step. But man, there were just little bars, little bits that just made me laugh quite a bit. And I think that I don't know that's the spirit of Beastie Boys. I don't think they ever took it too seriously. These guys aren't either. They're just having fun, making a good hip hop album with actually really surprisingly good production for such a young duo.
Nice. Yeah, I liked what I think is cool about, I mean, I guess where the Beastie Boys came from is their punk background. And I think I agree with Tim, it doesn't define them. I mean, it definitely sounds unique in their own thing, but they definitely have, the hip hop sound, but they have the punk sound, a couple songs in it. And that's where those are the songs that I like the most. Probably just because of the drums and stuff like that. But songs like Street Pizza, I love that song. I used it for my pizza episode on my radio show, which was epic.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Love that.
Such a funny song. Yeah, I loved it. It was cool. It's a totally unique thing, and they're killing it, man. I love it.
Yeah, I kind of felt like this album was a little all over the place in terms of like the kinds of beats. I did enjoy it. But I found myself like oscillating wildly between like hip hop and punk, which fits, right? Fits the vibe of the album. I was reminded of that Wu-Tang bar, clan in the front, let your feet stomp, punks in the back, right? Like it's there's definitely a connection there. I really enjoyed this album though. Super hype. Got me going on like early morning walks to class, listening to Start a Fight or Kill Bill. Ton of fun. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I listen to this album every single day. I This is a gym album, this is a walking album, this is a getting shit done album. I really, really like it. I actually went and did listen to some of their other stuff as well. It's definitely in that Beastie Boys sort of vibe. But I think they're also inspired by like kind of like Cam said, a lot of like modern sound too. Like I hear some like JPEG Mafia in there. I hear some like Danny Brown kind of in there too. So these guys know what they're doing, and I want like a Punk Tactics 2 like right now, because it's really good.
What is a punk tactic? Is that like, throwing bottles? What is that?
Yeah, it's like how punks do it. It's their tactics.
Uh,
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love this album. I'm definitely gonna listen to it a lot more. I feel like there's a ton to unpack that like I just haven't, because I need to listen to it more. But I liked, it is what it is. It's like, it hits those same buttons as like Beastie Boys, Rage, kind of those fun bands are awesome to see. I'm sure these guys would be so cool to see live. But it also like has like a pretty wide range. I think like the difference between like Punk Tactics and like Dance Now, which probably are like the two biggest songs I think on this album, are like they're like it's very two very different sounds and two different moods. So it still hits different moods. So it is very listenable all the way through. But still gets you going the whole time. I can run through a brick wall with this album, baby.
They're coming to Chicago in January. I think they're going on tour, so they're coming to somewhere near you.
Oh, sweet.
January, February, I think. Very excited for that. Definitely gonna go. Yeah, I like what you guys all said about the kind of more modern influences too. Like it's not just a Beastie Boys ripoff. It's like they use modern production, and like they still sample and stuff, but they use a lot of modern production. And they really they use that to their advantage too, which I really appreciate. And yeah, I always appreciate an album that kind of gets me back into hip hop a little bit, because I used to be like, in high school I like only listened to hip hop. And I was like a massive Tyler the Creator fan, and just like I've kind of fallen off that. So I always appreciate an album that like brings that back a little bit. So yeah.
I mean, I don't think we have to make a distinction between like Beastie Boys and modern Beastie Boys, right? I like they're doing the same thing, and it works. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to see them sort of like rehashing it a little bit. Excited to see what Punk Tactics 2 is like.
That'd be one. Nice. Did you give it a score?
Oh, a score. I'm gonna give it an 8.